If you wanted to know just how dysfunctional Donald Trump's White House is, how much chaos this man and the idiots that he has picked to run the government, how much chaos they have caused, then this is the perfect story that really just explains everything. And it is, to a degree, obviously, related to the Epstein files. You see, last week, right, when the DOJ was like, no, we're not going to release the files because no such files exist, that's what started the big rift between FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino and Attorney General Pam Bondi. Bongino was mad, he was angry, he's like, this is ridiculous, this is an outrage. So apparently what happened is that as part of his temper tantrum, Dan Bongino just decided to not show up to work last Friday. He was basically a no-call, no-show, which at almost any other job in the country, if you're a no-call, no-show, you're going to be fired on the spot. But Dan Bongino, being the big giant man baby that he is, decided, well, I'm not going into work today because I'm mad and I'm not going to tell anybody either. All right, fair enough. You're a giant baby and you threw a massive temper tantrum because your diaper was dirty. I get it. But here's where the chaos comes in. Nobody in the White House, including Donald Trump, knew anything about it. They didn't know he wasn't coming in. When they finally learned that he wasn't in, they didn't know why. Nobody attempted, I guess, to talk to him. So they didn't know if he followed through on his threat to quit or if he was just taking a mental health day. So what happened then, according to CNN host Caitlin Collins, is that over the weekend, because he did it on a Friday, so nobody knows what the hell's going on, over the weekend, Caitlin Collins said that her phone was blowing up with White House staffers asking her from CNN, did Dan Bongino quit? Do you know what's going on here? Do you know who our coworkers are? Like, what is going on at my job, Caitlin Collins? Please friggin' tell me, because none of us know. Trump's White House is in such disarray that in order to find out what's going on in their own lives, they had to call CNN. Now, here's one of the main reasons why that is hilarious. Donald Trump loves to say that CNN is fake news, as he does about anybody that doesn't praise him 24/7. So CNN is fake. You can't trust them. They're the worst of the worst, right? But then the second they need answers, who do they call? They weren't texting Sean Hannity. They weren't calling up Steve Doocy or Brian Kilmeade. They weren't texting Jesse Waters. They immediately called CNN, which tells you that this White House knows when you want information, you go to CNN. That, to me, kind of says a lot. Honestly, in my book, that boosts CNN's credibility, which I didn't even think they had much. But that's what they did. Like, oh God, we need answers. We need the truth. Let me call Caitlin Collins of CNN because she clearly knows more than we do. That's a big feather in the cap for Caitlin Collins, by the way. Now, the other part of this, these people don't know what's going on. Their job is to know what's going on, not just with their own job and their coworkers, but around the world. And if they don't know what's going on in their own life day to day, how the hell can we expect them to know what's going on anywhere else in the country, anywhere else on the planet, and keep up with that? They can't even keep up with who still works there. This is dangerous for the United States of America, folks. This isn't just funny, it's scary that they are so clueless they don't know. And for the record, Trump was asked last weekend, like, does Dan Bongino still work there? And Trump's response was, I think so. Like, even Trump doesn't know if Dan Bongino works for him anymore or not. I mean, Dan Bongino, as I've talked about in multiple segments, has cried and whined about how much he hates his job since he took it. So maybe he did quit. I hope he did. He is, seriously, he loves to portray himself as this big macho man. He is the biggest wussy, replace the W with a P, that I've ever seen in my life. Like, I have never met a man who whines and cries as much as Dan Bongino. It is ridiculous, so I hope he quit. But if you do, you kind of need to let those people know because, deputy director of the FBI is a big deal. We need that position. But this White House, Donald Trump included, the DOJ, all the way through the FBI, everything is chaos. Because these people are so inept, they are so incompetent, they are so out of their element that they can't even keep their daily lives on track. And if they can't do that, then there is no hope that they can keep the country on track. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support of us here at Fair and Balanced, and I want to introduce something completely new. We have now opened up memberships for our fans. And by signing up and becoming a member, you not only get exclusive early access to each day's videos, so you will get to see them a day before the general public, but you will also qualify for badges, emojis, special little icons. So please, we encourage everyone, if you want to help support the channel, please think about signing up and becoming a member. It is your support that helps keep us going. So thank you all very much. Check out the perks of membership, and I hope to see you all as members very soon.